what if building wealth didn't start with thousands of dollars, but with just 10? Not 10 invested perfectly, not 10 used to chase the next hot stock, just $10 used in a very specific way. Most people believe wealth comes from big opportunities, lucky investments, or high income. But the truth is quieter than that. Many wealthy people built their mindset long before they built their bank accounts. And often, it started with a very small habit. A habit that costs only $10, but changes the way your brain sees money forever. Pause. Today we're going to talk about the $10 habit and why it slowly builds the psychology of wealth. Not the problem. Why most people stay stuck financially. Most people don't struggle with money because they're lazy. They struggle because their relationship with money was never designed to create wealth. Think about it. Growing up, most of us were taught two main things about money: spend it or survive with it. School teaches us how to work for money, jobs teach us how to trade time for money, but almost nobody teaches us how to think about money. And thinking is where wealth actually begins. Many people wait until they have extra money before they start building wealth, but extra money rarely appears. Expenses expand, lifestyle grows, bills multiply, and suddenly the idea of investing or saving feels like something for later. The result? Years pass, income increases, but wealth doesn't. Because wealth is rarely built by income alone, it's built by habits that slowly reshape how your mind treats money. The psychology. Why small habits matter more than big plans. The human brain doesn't change through big decisions. It changes through repeated behavior. This is why people who suddenly win large amounts of money often lose it within a few years. Their bank account changed overnight, but their money habits did not. Wealth isn't just financial, it's psychological. It's a way of thinking, a way of deciding, a way of responding when money enters your life. And this is where the $10 habit comes in. Because its power is not in the amount. Its power is in what it trains your brain to do. The $10 habit, the simple practice, here is the habit. Every time money enters your life, set aside $10. That's it. Not when it feels convenient. Not when you feel rich. Every time, payday. Side income, cash gift, unexpected money. Before spending anything else, $10 moves away from your spending world into your future world. It doesn't need to be invested immediately. It doesn't need to grow fast. The important thing is the ritual, because the ritual quietly teaches your brain a new rule about money, and that rule is this. Not all money that enters your life belongs to today. Some of it belongs to your future. Think about how different that mindset is from what most people practice. Most people spend first, save later, if anything remains. But wealthy thinkers reverse the order. They protect a piece of every dollar, even when the amount feels small, especially when the amount feels small. You might wonder, why $10? Why not 100? Why not a percentage? Because habits fail when they feel heavy. The brain resists pressure, but it accepts simplicity. $10 is small enough that your mind won't fight it. You won't feel deprived. You won't feel like you're sacrificing your lifestyle. But over time, something powerful happens. The habit becomes automatic. And once the habit becomes automatic, increasing the amount becomes easy. The real transformation isn't the money you save, it's the identity you build. Every time you move $10 aside, you reinforce a quiet message to yourself. I am someone who keeps part of my money. That belief slowly replaces the old belief many people carry. I spend what I earn. Identity drives behavior, and behavior drives financial outcomes. People who believe they are builders of wealth act differently with money. They hesitate before impulsive spending. They look for ways to grow what they keep. They think long-term, but those behaviors rarely appear overnight. They grow from small rituals repeated consistently. Something interesting happens after a few months of this habit. You begin noticing money differently. Small purchases stand out. Unnecessary spending becomes easier to spot. You start asking quiet questions before buying things. Do I really need this? Will I still care about this next week? This awareness is subtle, but it's powerful, because wealth doesn't disappear in large, dramatic ways. It disappears quietly, through small decisions repeated daily: coffee, subscriptions, impulse purchases, convenience spending. None of these feel dangerous alone, but together they slowly erode financial freedom. The $10 habit creates a pause, a moment where money is acknowledged instead of rushed away, and that pause builds awareness. If you listen to many financially successful people, you'll notice something interesting. Their wealth didn't start with big investments. It started with small discipline, saving small amounts, tracking money, building simple systems. These habits looked insignificant at the beginning, but over time they formed the foundation for larger decisions. Investing, starting businesses, buying assets. But those steps felt natural because the mindset already existed. The $10 habit is not about the amount. It's about planting that mindset early. Let's imagine something simple. If you save just $10 every week, that's $520 a year. Not life-changing, but also not nothing. Now imagine the habit grows. 10 becomes 20, 20 becomes 50. Eventually you start investing that money, and something remarkable begins to happen. Your money starts working, even when you're not. This is where real wealth begins. Not through dramatic moves, but through quiet consistency. Here's ask yourself a simple question. What if wealth isn't built by massive effort, but by small discipline practiced longer than most people are willing to continue? Most people quit financial habits after a few weeks, because the results are invisible at first. But invisible progress is still progress. Roots grow before trees appear. The emotional freedom of small control. There is another benefit to the $10 habit. Control. Many people feel anxious about money, even when they earn a decent income, because money feels unpredictable. It comes and goes quickly. But small financial rituals create stability. They remind you that you're not completely at the mercy of money. You are slowly directing it, even in small ways. And that sense of direction reduces financial stress, because confidence grows when your actions match your intentions. Why this habit is powerful for young adults. For people between 18 and 35, this habit is especially powerful, because time becomes your greatest financial ally. Small amounts saved early have decades to grow. But even more importantly, your money identity forms during these years. If your 20s train you to consume everything you earn, that pattern often continues for decades. But if your 20s train you to protect part of every dollar, that pattern becomes your financial backbone. The $10 habit may look small today, but its psychological impact can shape your financial future for years. We often imagine wealth beginning with a big breakthrough, a promotion, a business idea, a lucky investment. But most lasting wealth begins much quieter than that. It begins with a decision so small that almost anyone could start today. $10. Moved intentionally, repeated consistently, not to impress anyone, not to show off online, just a private habit between you and your future. Kyo, if this idea resonated with you, take a moment today and start the habit. Not tomorrow, not next month, today, just $10. And if you enjoy calm, thoughtful conversations about money, psychology, and building wealth slowly and wisely, consider subscribing to the channel, because sometimes the most powerful financial lessons are the quiet ones.